Hello, my name is Brianna Gilmore, and today I will be presenting to you my final research project and why I think incidents in the life of a slave girl still matters today. First, we'll start off with my central inquiry question. This question will be based upon how does Jacobs challenge American freedom and why does this matter today? So my question simply states, how does incidents in the life of a slave girl challenge traditional ideas of American freedom, and why does that challenge still matter today? This question pushes us to rethink what freedom has meant historically and who has been excluded from it. Next, we'll go into my thesis statement, and this just simply states that incidents in the life of a slave girl remains relevant because Harriet Jacobs exposes the contradiction between America's ideals of freedom and the lived reality of enslaved women, revealing systems of oppression that continue to shape issues of race, gender, and power in modern society. Now we'll dig deeper into Harriet Jacobs and all about her. She was an enslaved woman. She escaped slavery. She published this article in 1861. She focused more about women's experiences with slavery, and she focuses on sexual exploitation in slavery. Harriet Jacobs was an enslaved woman who escaped and later wrote her narrative to expose the sexual exploitation faced by enslaved women. Her story is unique because it centers around gender and slavery. Next, the historical context of it all. The book was published in 1861, right before the Civil War. Jacobs wrote to convince Northern readers, especially women, of slavery's immoral injustice. She specifically targeted people who may not have fully understood the realities of slavery, hoping to gain their sympathy and support. By sharing her personal experiences, she made this issue more real, more emotional, rather than distant or abstract. Next, the myth of freedom. America is often defined by freedom, but Jacob shows that this was not true for enslaved people. Her life reveals the gap between ideals and reality. While the nation prompted liberty, millions were denied basic human rights. This contrast forces readers to question how freedom was denied and who it actually applied to. Gender and slavery played a major role in this article. Dare I say, it was the topic of the whole entire article. Jacobs highlights how enslaved women faced both racial and gender oppression, especially through abuse and lack of control over their own bodies. Enslaved women were particularly vulnerable because they had no legal rights to protect themselves. This created a system where their suffering was often ignored or normalized. The textual evidence states that Jacob describes constant harassment and control, showing how slavery stripped women of their autonomy, their dignity, their rights. She explains how fear and manipulation were used to maintain power over enslaved individuals. This psychological control was just as damaging as physical abuse, affecting their sense of self and their security. But there was not just all bad and dark days in this article. There was just not gloom everywhere. There was resilience and strength. Her decision to hide in an attic for years shows incredible resistance and determination. Despite extreme conditions, she refused to give up on her desire for freedom. Her actions demonstrate that enslaved people were not passive victims, but individuals who actively resisted oppression in whatever ways they could. Next, we will get into the big topic of why this still matters today. The issues Jacob exposes still exist today, making her narrative importantly and incredibly relevant. Many of the inequalities that she describes can still be seen in modern society. Her story helps readers recognize how historical injustices continue to shape current systems and experiences today. Now we will talk about the article's connections to today. These problems didn't just disappear, they evolved through time. Jacobs help us understand their origins. By looking at her experiences, we can better understand how these issues develop over time. This connection encourages people to think critically about ongoing social challenges even today. Redefining America. Jacob challenges the idea of a perfect America and reveals a more honest and complex identity. Her narrative shows that the country's story includes both progress and injustice. Understanding this complexity is important for having a more accurate view of American identity. My final thoughts. Jacob's narrative forces us to confront the truth about American history and its ongoing impact. By sharing her personal experiences, she reveals the harsh realities of slavery, while also showing the strength and determination that it took to survive. Her story not only helps us better understand the past, but also encourages us to reflect on these issues continuing to shape society today. Now, this is my works cited page, my 3 purely reviewed scholarly articles. Thank you so much for listening. I enjoyed talking about my final research project, and I enjoyed sharing some information about incidents of the life of the slave girl. Thank you so much.